So over the past few years, drugs have become a major issue here in Zambia. They've been causing disturbances in our communities, and this is mainly caused by people are going to term as junkies. But before we go further into the video, thank you for checking out my channel. People, if you're new, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for the support. So let's jump into it. So first of all, let me describe who a junkie is. So usually the first thing that you notice about a junkie is they have this homeless, dirty look, and usually these are very young people, like from the ages of 14 years old to 35, in that range. And usually when you see them, they're in groups of maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, and sometimes even bigger groups. And sometimes if you are walking, maybe heading home in the evening, and you see these groups, they are quite intimidating. And some of them believe that there's no use in going to school and all that kind of stuff, getting the basic knowledge from school, because they believe it's a waste of time. They can live on the streets and hustle and make money through that. And some of these come from most of these come from very, very poor communities, and they are forced to live on the streets because maybe they're not comfortable with the conditions that they have where they live. And there are some also who maybe come from very well-to-do families, but because they got addicted to the drugs or the street life or living on the streets, it's like the street life has absorbed them, and now they're just part of that lifestyle, you know. So some of the issues that these junkies have been causing nationwide, countrywide, include theft. So theft, they're breaking into people's houses, cars, shops, and stealing stuff, then selling the stuff so that they can sustain their habits or their addictions. Another thing that's happening also is theft and murder. People are being beaten up, assaulted. Maybe someone is heading home from work, gets beaten up, and also someone breaks into your house, they beat you up. Murder is also another thing that's been happening. Like people have been murdered by these junkies. You know, you get beaten up so bad, like they beat you to death. That's what's been happening. Like they just beat you to death. That's what's been happening to some people in some communities. Another thing also is vandalism, destruction of public and private property. Like some of these, they don't have control, you know. They break stuff, they steal stuff so that they can sustain their habits. So for these junkies, some of the drugs that they're taking include cocaine, heroin, marijuana, sniffing glue, which is the commonest that I see. Usually I see a lot of these, especially the young ones, they're usually sniffing this glue. And also alcohol. So some of these people in the community that they're in, they have easy access to this alcohol stuff. So alcohol is also one of the things that these junkies are taking. But the good thing is that the government has come up with a solution. One of the solutions that they have is they have said these activities where they're going around different communities and sweeping up these junkies. And right now it's been working because almost every month we get news that in specific areas the number of junkies have reduced. But then one of the issues that's not really talked about, that's under the radar, is some people are mistaken. There are many cases of mistaken identity where someone may appear to look like a junkie but is not. Usually, for example, from their hairstyle. If their hair is unkempt or looking a certain way, the police might assume he's probably one of them and might sweep him up with the rest, you know. These cases are also there. But right now, this is the only solution that is working at the moment, where the police go around different communities, sweep up these junkies and take them to the facilities where they can rehabilitate themselves. Anyway, people, just thank you for checking out this video. It's just a really, really short one. Just something like that we experience in our everyday lives, especially when you go out into these shopping areas. Usually you see these junkies around. Some of them are passed out on the sidewalks, and some of them are, especially in the bus stations, you see a lot of these kids, and you see they're every day, they're becoming part of everyday life, you know, avoiding them. And sometimes you meet them on the street, they'll be asking you for money, like, oh, I'm asking for a 1 kwacha or a 2 kwacha. Usually I don't give, because I had experienced something once when a small kid, one of these young kids, came to me, was asking me for a 1 kwacha. So I said no. I didn't give him because I knew it's either I was going to buy drugs or gamble. And I said no. Then I walked a few meters, I found him with his friends, and he was gambling with them. So I was like, if I gave him that 1 kwacha, he would have been gambling with his friends there on the street. And so, like, most of these, especially the young kids, the street kids, those who look like maybe they're 10, 11, 12, some of them, they do have homes where they come from, but they just prefer this street life. You know, they feel like that's the life they want to live, you know, just hustling on the streets. Yeah. Anyway, people, that's all for this video. Remember, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, and thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in my next video. Peace. We had so many takes.